Today I actually get an opportunity to brag about my team here at Enforce. Not something I get a chance to do too often, but what I'm really excited about is we've had a major breakthrough in the vitamin and supplement and specifically sports nutrition industry where we have now been able to uncover the identity of every single unauthorized seller in that space to date. That's a huge breakthrough. And let me actually explain to you why that matters so much. Because most companies that are trying to figure out one of the biggest issues that I get on a day to day basis is, Matt, we can't figure out who these people are or how they're getting our product. We feel like if we at least know who they are, some of them we could trace back to our retailer and distribution lists, and we might be able to figure out something we can do internally. Outside of that, the rest of these people, we have no idea how in the world they're getting our products. And let me explain to you why it really matters to be able to zero in and figure out who they are. And it starts with Amazon's policy, which I'm actually going to read an excerpt from Amazon's policy. It states that Amazon respects a manufacturer's right to enter into exclusive distribution agreements for its products. However, violations of such agreements do not constitute intellectual property rights infringement, as the enforcement of these agreements is a matter between the manufacturer and its retailers, and it would not be appropriate for Amazon to assist in enforcement activities. So realistically, Amazon is washing their hands of these. And if you really take the time to read through their policies, at least the way that I understand them in layman's terms, anything regarding intellectual property rights comes down to physical or criminally manufactured differences between the products. So what are you really left with when you figure out who someone is that has somehow acquired, by hook or by crook, your products on Amazon? Well, you need to know who they are, because this is now a civil dispute between you and another company, another party, that Amazon has made plain as day that they don't want anything to do with. And in taking forward enforcement action against them, you have to be able to identify who this violator is in order to be able to go after that. So why am I so proud of my team for this? Why is this such a big deal? How is it so hard to figure out who these guys are? Well, for one, and particularly in this sports nutrition niche, but I've noticed it in CPG or specialty foods, I've noticed it in electronics, I've noticed it in beauty, skincare, hair care, all across the board. The names of these accounts really don't connect to anything else. I could have a seller called ABC Wholesale, but they own a retail store called Jack's Hair and Beauty Supply, or ABC Nutrition could actually just be some guy in his college dorm room named Jack Smith. Nothing to do with one another. And the more of these our team has ID'd, the more we've been able to prove that concept true. One thing unique about eEnforce is, as a licensed cyber investigative agency, law enforcement trained cyber investigators that have worked hand in hand with the FBI, Secret Service, dozens of law enforcement agencies all over the country in cyber investigations, i.e. identifying who anonymous cyber criminals are online. We have specific tools and security clearance for law enforcement databases to be able to identify and verify the identities and contact information of these anonymous sellers, i.e. the violators that everyone's been trying to enforce against and identify. However, the reason that other companies have not been able to do this is right now eEnforce is the only licensed investigative agency in the space. So it's actually illegal for many other companies, without violating certain state laws or potentially federal laws, to be able to get to the depth that is required in order to investigate and identify who they are. So what's the difference? A lot of these companies are using, let's say, generic email distribution lists, or they are using generic scrapers to try to find keyword matches, i.e. ABC Sellers matches ABC Retail Corp in New York City, and they're mistakenly connecting the two together, or through technology scraping or different types of monitoring software, they're getting information, but it's either partial information or incorrect because they don't possess the software, licensed investigators, or security clearance to actually be able to peel the lid off and verify who these people are. So what's really got me fired up about my team right now is our investigators went out, they paired up with our tech department, designed some custom investigative software to pair up with our investigators utilizing our security clearance for federal law enforcement database, and actually went through, rolled up their sleeves, and identified every single one of these unauthorized sellers in that sports nutrition space. I'm just pleased with them beyond anything that you could imagine. But, this was just a chance for me to brag on my team, explain a little bit about why this is so important and the uniqueness of the ability to use a licensed investigative firm with these types of specific capabilities. So I appreciate you guys tuning into this. Have a great day.